Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And in this episode, I want to talk to you about one of the most difficult things that many new content creators and even longtime content creators struggle with. And what that is how to brainstorm topics for your content. For some reason, entrepreneurs, we have all of these great ideas. We have lots of things that we feel like we can help people with. But when it comes to creating content and actually putting our ideas out there into the world for people to see and to hear and to become familiar, we have this blinking cursor syndrome where, writer's block or whatever, we can't ideate for some reason when we're in that mode. And it's really important as you go through the crest process. Of course, you're going to have content that you need to create. Content will be in the form of whatever, video, audio, or written that you choose. You're going to have to deal with ads. You're going to want to start posting things on social media. And so there's this need to come up for topics. And there are trainings online that different people have about specific tactical things that you can do. I'll just tell you a couple of them. For example, as it relates to your audience, you could go on a Google search and you could say, how do I, and then type in A, and then, see what the responses are, and then type in B and see what the suggestions are. And so you can create from a list like that. You could also use a site like Quora, which has questions and answers, and people are asking different questions, that you could go on there, see what kind of questions your target audience is answering or is asking, and provide answers to them within your content. Another really practical strategy is you could go to a site like answerthepublic.com. They have a little way you can get a taste of it for free. And then if you find it really useful, you can pay for it. Those are all good, useful things. You can find lots of teaching and training on YouTube specifically about each of those items. What I want to do is give you something that is going to be a little bit more evergreen, a little bit more strategy level necessarily than tactics. And what I'll do for you is in this week's free download, again, this is a freebie that you can get as a result of just going to the website and downloading it. I will give you two things. I'm going to give you something related to the bonus. I'm not going to tell you what it is quite yet. There's a bonus I want to give you that will actually help with all of these things. And I will also include in that download some links to some resources for the tactical strategies that you can find as well. Okay. So if you will, go to northmacservices.com/PQR2. northmacservices.com/PQR2. As I explain that later in the episode, that will make a little bit more sense for you, but you can go there and get your free download, and I think you're going to find it very useful. Okay, so let's dive into this. What kind of things can we do in a strategy, in a high level, in an evergreen way? What kind of things can we do to continually brainstorm new topics for our content? I want to take you through 3 steps, and then again, a bonus step as well. Step number 1 is to schedule time with undivided focus. To schedule time with undivided focus. It is so true. What gets scheduled gets done. Okay? What gets scheduled gets done. And if you schedule time with undivided focus, you're not trying to answer emails. You're not trying to do this around, doing client work. You're not trying to fit all different kinds of things into your schedule. You're not trying to write content. You're not trying to edit content. You need to do one thing with these brainstorming sessions. You need to sit down with undivided focus and do nothing but brainstorm topics for your content. Okay? Simple enough. Easy enough. It's not that complicated to do, but for some reason, we don't do it. I'm serious. I'm not kidding here. Do it right now. Stop, pause the podcast. I promise it'll be here when you come back. Go to your calendar right now and block out an hour. I bet you could do this in just an hour. An hour where you're going to turn on Do Not Disturb on your phone or whatever, and you're going to do nothing but ideate content. Block off that time. That's step number 1. Okay? Do it. It's very important. Step number 2 is you're going to list items that are going to help your target audience. Okay, you're going to list questions and thoughts that are going to be the kind of thing that your target audience needs and or wants to know. And here's the best part. I'm going to give you some specific direction around what sorts of things you should actually be brainstorming around, okay? As it relates to what you do, as it relates to what you teach, how can you help them find help in these areas? How can you help them beat the learning curve? Okay, can you help them beat the learning curve? I mean, anytime you're trying to teach somebody something, there's always that learning curve. It's a new thing. Can you brainstorm topics that will help you beat them, or help help your audience beat these learning curves? Is there content or that you can create around the idea of solving a problem? What is a problem that your target audience has that they constantly mention? And again, you can actually use these guides now to do your tactical research, right? You could go to Google, you could go to Quora, you could go to Answer the Public as you're doing the tactics, and you can think around these frames. But again, I'm trying to give you the high level strategy here, right? So brainstorm items that'll help your target audience beat the learning curve, solve a problem. How about this? Get a quick result. Get a quick result. Anytime you're trying to teach people, I'm telling you, this is the kind of thing that will get people on your side for life. If you can help them get results quickly, because so many people are all talk. So many people don't actually do the thing, right? So if you can actually do the thing, and you can show them that with just a little bit of help, they can do the thing, then that's huge. So if you can create content that will help people actually get a quick result in what they're doing, and by the way, this exact podcast episode is sort of a meta kind of version of that, right? I'm helping you to get a quick result. You can take what I'm giving you right now and schedule this for the next hour after the one that you're listening to this podcast. Seriously, you can schedule it for the next upcoming hour. Do what I say here and have your result. Before the end of today, you can have 100 topics ready to go when you start your content marketing. Huge. Then the final one is to take the next logical step, okay? Pick a point in the journey of where someone is and create a piece of content that calls that person out, lets them identify with you. Ask some questions at the very beginning that make sure, and Amy Porterfield is if you need to go listen to her podcast, it's called Online Marketing Made Easy. Amy Porterfield does a great job at this in many of her podcast episodes, where at the very beginning, she's asking questions and calling you out. If the podcast episode is meant for you, if you answer yes to the questions that she asked in the very beginning. And so you can do that. You can call out a specific portion of your audience and say, hey, look, everybody's going to get some value. But if you are stuck with this, if you are in the middle of doing that, whatever, then this is the episode for you. This is the blog post for you, whatever it may be, because I'm going to show you how to take the next logical step and go from there. So it's huge. Those are huge things. I'm going to reiterate them real quick. So beat the learning curve, solve a problem, get a quick result, or take the next logical step, okay? So that's step number 2. List the items in these categories that are actually going to help your target audience. Step 3, and this one's important, don't stop until you reach 100 topics. Don't stop until you reach 100 topics. Now, why do I say that? Well, sure, I did pull that number up out of thin air, okay? Because it just depends. 100 topics might only be 100 days of content, depending on how frequently you're posting. Or it could be 100 weeks, okay? But the point is that is a good number, a good starting point that will make you feel good about what you're doing. In my opinion, if you can't come up with 100 topics about your subject matter, then it's not really a subject matter worth pursuing from a business standpoint, at least. You know what I'm saying? There's no topic in which you can come up with 100, content items about that is going to produce really great return on investment for you and for your time. So don't stop till you get 100. It'll make you feel accomplished. It's a great number. It'll give you more than a year's worth of content if you're only producing weekly. It will give you a little more than a quarter's worth of content if you are producing daily. So it's huge, right? It will definitely make you feel as though you've got a good handle on this and that you are moving forward. So step 1, schedule time with undivided focus. Put it in the calendar so it'll get done. Number 2, list items that are going to help your target audience beat the learning curve, solve a problem, get a quick result, or take the next logical step. And then number 3, is don't stop until you reach 100 topics, because that way you know that you've got a great runway of content to go before you even get started. Now, I told you there was going to be a bonus. And for this bonus, again, it's really important that you go to northmagservices.com/PQR2 in order to download this form. And when you do that, you're going to get my PQR2 form. Now, this is based 100%, and it even says this in the form, it's based 100% on Jim Edwards' methodology that he teaches in the book Copywriting Secrets, okay? And in the book, he lays out this idea of how to actually come up with an ideal avatar, an ideal customer. And a lot of people talk about creating your target customer, your dream customer, your avatar. A lot of people talk about it, but nobody has done it practically as well as Jim Edwards. I think he's made it so practical, because instead of just thinking ethereally about where this person works and how old this person is and how many kids they have and things that it's really hard to get a handle on, and you think, why does this even matter? This really helps you come up with the problems, that's the P, the questions, that's the Q, the roadblocks, and the results, that's the R's, okay? That people are experiencing and or that they want to overcome. So the PQR2 form is a great way to actually find your ideal avatar in a way that will help you automatically create content for them. And so as you fill out your PQR2 form, which I would so highly encourage you to do, even though it's the bonus for this episode, you can always go back to that when it's time to brainstorm new content and use that as a trigger point. Schedule another hour of time, or it might even take less depending on how well you know your target audience. Schedule another hour of time to just get the PQR2 filled out, and then that will help you inform your content decisions and things for years to come, because you're always going back to that and saying, is this relevant? Does this matter? You're constantly tweaking and refining, and that document itself even walks you through some of the different things that you can do to brainstorm these ideas for that, which will help your content creation. It's a huge, immense value. I put together the form for you. I did all the work for you here, other than actually filling it out for your target audience. So go grab that, northmagservices.com/PQR2, and I will be able to help you much beyond even the content that I've brought to you here in this episode. I want to thank you for being a listener to the Marketing for the Rest of Us podcast. We're just getting started here, and I'm having a ton of fun. I hope you're having a ton of fun as well. And go grab that form, northmagservices.com/PQR2, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.